Page 39, a fine state of affairs. This is a wrist staccato study. If you take a look at the right hand notes here, most of them have dots, which means they're staccatos. And because there's more than one note being played at a time, finger staccato ain't going to work. So we're going to use wrist staccato. You simply hinge at the wrist. Yay! It's not a big hinge like I'm doing, it's just a little hinge, it's just a little thing. It's a light, you're just bouncing off the keys. Type thing. Using the same fingers throughout. You see 1-5 for the first line, 2-4 for the second, 1-5 for the third, and 1-3 or 1-2 or 1-5, whatever for the last line. As I said before, not all the notes are staccato. Look at the last note of each line. You have a tenuto line. That means hold it out full, as long as you possibly can. Stretch that note if you can. So the last measure of the first line, it's a... Hang on to that as long as you possibly can before you go on to the next line, etc. They're all these tenuto lines are that way. So other than that, everything in the right hand is staccato. And because you have to move your hand around, you got to be able to do this and get two fingers to work at the same time. Yeah. What I do is I focus on one finger, one or the other, depends on the music and what's going on, and I just aim that finger. For instance, in the first line here, if I just aim the thumb, and I get that going, and I put my hand in that position, and I keep it there, the little finger should do what it's supposed to do. Well, now, I played staccato. Okay. A lot of times what I like to do is I like to focus on the melody note, whatever that is. And in this case, it's the top note. This. That means focusing on the little finger. So I'm just going to focus on that. Make that go where I want it to. And then the thumb ought to do what it's supposed to do if I keep my hand in that position. Because I like to bring out the melody, and if I'm focusing on it, it's easier to bring it out. Second line, it's the same principle. You focus on one note, leave your hand in that position, you should be okay. So if you focus on the top note, listen, etc., they should do it. You don't have to worry about getting tense here because you're doing a wrist staccato. And as long as you're working the wrist like that, you're going to stay loose whether you want to or not. Third line, it's 1-5 again, it's like the first line, and then the fourth line, different things going on. You have a 1-3. Now look out in the first measure, the last two eighth notes are not staccato. So, second measure, it's 1-2. Those are not staccato, and then it is. Like so. So work out that right hand very carefully. The left hand's just got the supporting chords, but watch the fingering. Like in the first line, you're not starting with a little finger. Do you think you would? You're starting with third finger. That's because we want to be in an extended position. We want the octaves here and the G's in the middle. Because in the third measure you go down. So watch the fingering in here. You stay here pretty much until the last line when you have to come up, and watch the fingering in the last line. It may not be what you think it is. So once you worked all that out and then put the hands together, then you've almost got it. Dynamics, you do the dynamics. First line is loud, that's the melody that's loud. Second line is soft, that's the melody that's soft. Everything else is softer. Third line loud, fourth line soft, so you're going back and forth on this. When we do the play with me part, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to perform it for you. I don't want you copying me. I want you to do it. So I'm going to play everything pretty much the same so you can hear the notes. I want you to get the right notes. At the top, above the staff, the top staff, not too stately. Don't know what that means exactly. Then they give you a metronome marking and a range. And you can experiment with the metronome and the range to see about where it is. Now, we're going to take this really slow. So I'm going to give us 4 counts, and we will come in. This is 2-4 times. You go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, etc. And once you have the counting down, once you have the rhythm, you don't have to keep counting it anymore. You just play it. Now there is no pedal in this, obviously, because there's staccato. And you can't hear staccato with pedal. Well, that doesn't work. Right hand here, left hand here. 1, 2, ready and go, and.